Hey everybody, what's up? It's Luke here. It's been an incredibly long time since I've made a video. I think the last one I did was a big update video, and then before that my last movie review was for Mad Max Fury Road, and in both of those videos I haven't watched them since I edited them and uploaded them, but I'm pretty sure I probably said something along the lines of I'm gonna get back into reviews like consistently and getting them out on time and updates on time, but obviously 2 months later I did not do that over the course of my summer off from school. And yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I've said this plenty of times over the past, I'd say 8 months for my channel. Like, I keep saying, like, I'm gonna, get things back together and do things in a timely order again, but honestly, I don't think I'll be able to do that. So, if you still want to subscribe to the channel and watch, like, definitely do so, feel free. If you want to unsubscribe because I'm not going to be giving out consistent content, that's fine too. I don't really care either way, but I did want to make a video about this. Recently, Barnes & Noble had their Criterion Blu-Ray sale, and basically what that means is it's 50% off of all of their Criterion Blu-Rays. And if you don't know what a Criterion Blu-Ray is, it's basically this company that takes movies from that are just not necessarily forgotten by time and people, but just like, I don't know, really high quality, kind of swanky movies. Not all of them are like that, but just they take movies that are either unknown or popular or just really kind of were very impactful from the time they were made. And I kind of went a little crazy and bought a whole bunch of them. And prior to buying all these Blu-rays on this sale that they had, I'd only had 3 other Criterion Blu-rays in my life because they're really expensive. At Barnes & Noble they sell for $40 a piece. That's kind of ridiculous because they're like 25 a piece on Amazon, but I mean, with Barnes & Noble you get 50% off plus another 10% if you're a member, and I just used my friend's aunt's membership, which is kind of funny, so I got a lot of these movies for 18 bucks a piece instead of 25, so really, the sale isn't that amazing, but I don't know, like, I have a new job, and I've been delivering pizzas, so I get a lot of tips, and my tips, like, I don't really have much to do with the tip money I get, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to just spend all my tips that I get over the next couple weeks, buying a bunch of Criterion Blu-rays for the collection, because there are a lot of movies in here that I've always wanted to see and I've always been curious about, but I've kind of not been able to get a hold of them just because the Criterion Blu-rays are always so expensive, and I don't feel comfortable necessarily dropping like 25, 30, 40 bucks on a movie I haven't seen before. But with this sale, it kind of gave me the opportunity to take a chance with some of these movies and really just kind of delve into what Criterion has to offer. And I've watched probably 5 of the ones I'm going to show you today, and I gotta say that I've loved every single one of them. And I don't know, the Criterion Collection, a lot of people might say it's overrated, but I personally have really been enjoying them, and I think they do a really good job with their Blu-ray transfers, and the way they design their cases is awesome, and their selection is great as well. They have a lot of really cool films in the Criterion Collection. So without any further ado, we're gonna get right into this, because I have a lot of movies to show you guys, because I spent probably around $400 over the last couple weeks on these, so let's just get right into it. The first one I got here, and the way I have them ordered on this stack I have is, there's a little number on the spine. I don't know what these numbers mean. I don't know if it's focusing. I don't think it is. I don't know if we're going to be able to focus enough to see that, but each Criterion Blu-ray and DVD, if you're going to buy DVDs for some reason, have a number on the spine, and I really don't know why they give movies the numbers they do, because it just seems completely random, but yeah, like, whatever, I don't know, that's just the way I'm going to organize them on my shelf, just because it's, I don't know, a lot of other people do it that way, so I thought, well, what the hell, I'll just do it by that. Anyways, the first movie I'm going to show you guys is Fritz Langs M. The film analysis class in high school that I actually wasn't in, I was in a different class, all of them got to watch this movie, and one of my best friends said, M's really good, and I bought it, and I watched half of it, and let me just tell you guys this, do not start watching this movie at 1 in the morning, because although it is really good, what I saw was amazing. There was some really cool, and you know, what fascinates me about this movie is that it was made in 1931, and it's a German film, and it's about a child rapist and murderer, and I just think it's crazy that a movie came out almost 100 years ago now that was about this. And this movie, especially with the Blu-ray transfer, it doesn't look that old or dated. I think this movie really is interesting to me, and I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch it because I didn't get to see the ending or anything because I fell asleep halfway through. But from what I saw, it was really cool. And yeah, it was like, 18 bucks. So a lot of these were about 18 bucks, which is still expensive, but like I said, this is the time to buy the Criterion Blu-rays. Well, not anymore because the sale ended yesterday. But at the time, the last like 4 weeks or whatever the sale was going on, this is the time you want to do this. Next one I got up here, I don't know why, but this one was original price 50 bucks, but I got it for like 22 or whatever. But Terry Gilliam's Brazil. Don't really know a lot about this movie. A lot of these movies I actually don't really know a lot about. I just kind of know the director and some of the actors and just previous works they've done. But Brazil is a sci-fi film from 1985, and like I said before, I don't know why this one is 50 bucks because it doesn't have any special Criterion casing. It's just your standard clear box. But yeah, I'll watch this movie sometime. I'm interested in it, but then again, like I said, I don't really know what it's about, but I've heard that it's good. That's pretty much all I know. This one right here, this is one of the Criterions that I really, really wanted. It's one of the first ones I bought when the sale started. The Vanishing. It's if I'm not mistaken, a Danish film. And they made a remake of this movie in the early 90s for the US, and it starred Kiefer Sutherland, Sandra Bullock, and Jeff Bridges. And I had actually seen that one before. My dad and I watched it on HBO when I was in like first grade or something. And I just have to say that I really wish I hadn't have seen that version first because it kind of ruins the impact of the ending of this film. But it's basically about this couple who's driving around France, and they're from, Denmark. And the woman gets abducted while they're at a gas station, and then the movie kind of jumps ahead 3 years, and it focuses a lot on the guy who actually abducted her and his motives and the way he thinks and why he ended up doing what he did. And the guy, the husband or whatever, the boyfriend, whatever he was, that lost his wife, or whatever the hell I'm trying to say, he is constantly like trying to find her, even 3 years after the fact. And I don't know, it's a really, really cool movie, and it's got a great ending. I just wish I hadn't have seen the remake because it's kind of a similar ending, but the remake ends in a kind of lamer fashion. And goodness, it is extremely hot in my room. The window's not open and the AC is not on, but I have a LaCroix to keep me chilled, I guess. My God, it's really, really hot in here. We gotta get rolling though, because I have to be at work in like less than an hour, so let's keep doing this. I just picked this one up yesterday on the last day of the sale. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, another Terry Gilliam film, if I'm not mistaken, starring Johnny Depp, and who else? Can't remember, but I know Tobey Maguire's in it, and I really like Tobey Maguire personally, so that's kind of a reason why I bought this movie. Basically, I've just heard that it's about two guys going to Las Vegas and doing a lot of drugs, and it's a really trippy movie, and yeah, I don't really know much else about it, but I'm definitely going to watch it pretty soon because I'm interested. This one I actually just watched, Tokyo Story. This is another one of the Criterion Blu-rays that I've known about for a long time, and I've always wanted to watch, and I finally got to buy it and watch it right away. And really, really good film. It's kind of it's not a difficult watch. It's really easygoing and just it's really slow paced, but it came out in 1953, and I think that it's kind of a bit harder to relate to because the culture of Japan and the culture of America, where I am from, was very different in that period of time, and sort of the customs and just what was kind of socially in the norm. And it has, I don't know, it's just it's a very different movie, and it just contains a lot of small talk, but I thought it was pretty good, and it's got a great ending, and I don't know, it just seems like it has a lot to say. I'll definitely have to watch it again sometime, but that is Tokyo Story, and it has a nicer, I think this is the first one I'm showing you guys with like a nicer, like, sort of not paper, but like different material packaging, and it has 3 discs in it, and this booklet, so yeah, this is definitely one of the nicer jobs Criterion did with one of their releases, so that's pretty cool. I watched this one as well. I actually just watched a couple of this man's films, David Cronenberg, Naked Lunch. It's basically, what made me want to buy this movie was the first sentence that I read on the back of the case or was it IMDb? I don't know. It's basically about a bug exterminator who's also kind of a part-time writer. He accidentally becomes addicted to his bug killing like stuff, and he accidentally kills his wife in the process, and he has to go on the run. I thought that was a really interesting concept, and this movie definitely has some really weird things that you'd expect to see in a David Cronenberg film. Lots of cool practical special effects with weird creatures and stuff. But it's a movie that I'll have to watch again someday, but it's just it's really just confusing. Like, just a lot of weird stuff happens as far as the story is concerned and what the characters are doing, and a lot of them is kind of thinking, I'm like, what's happening right now? Like, what are they doing? I just didn't understand what the goal of the movie was at all times. A lot of people really like it, some people hate it. I'm kind of indifferent about it. I do want to give it another chance because I do want to enjoy it, but I thought it was alright. This one I just watched as well, another David Cronenberg film, Videodrome, and this is another one of the ones that I've known about for a while that I've always wanted to pick up, and I finally got to thanks to the sale. And this one has a really, really cool case. Like, it deals fucking voice crack. It deals a lot with like television in the early 80s, and TV back then is not what it is today. And this movie has a really cool concept of basically kind of coming across this sort of hidden TV station, this broadcast signal, and it's this weird show. It's like a torture show, and the main character, James Woods, thinks that, like, this is incredibly realistic. Like, how are the actors doing this? And of course, we all know that it's not acting. It's actually like broadcasting violence and torture. And the movie takes a lot of weird turns. It has, again, kind of like Naked Lunch, a lot of really cool practical like rigging and effects. And I thought it was pretty good. I really liked the beginning part a lot more, and I just want to show you guys the actual case because it's like a VHS tape, and it just looks really, really cool. And then the inside is just, it's got the booklet and the Blu-ray. I don't even know why I had to open up all that, but yeah, I liked the first half of this movie a lot more than the second half. I'll watch it again someday for sure. It's a really easy, like, 80-minute watch, but yeah, Videodrome. This one, I was at the I don't even know if I have to tell you this, but I was at the Burnsville Barnes & Noble, looking for more Blu-rays after, like, my third visit, and I grabbed this, and I'd never heard of it before, and I just, like, looked at it, and I was like, I'm going to buy this. And I guess it's a true story of a man in Japan, who, like, is a thief and a murderer. It's supposed to be really good. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Came out in 1979, and it's called. The title is really what got me. Vengeance is Mine is what it's called, and I'm a big fan of Asian revenge films. Old Boy and I Saw the Devil in particular. Those are both Korean films. Yeah, I love Asian revenge flicks. So that definitely seems like something that's totally right up my alley. Next up, we have The Ice Storm. This was an Ang Lee film, and yeah, this one, like, Tobey Maguire's in it. That's one of the main buying reasons for me, and I don't know much about it, but it takes place in the Nixon days, and it's basically just like a couple families in a hotel getting snowed in. That's pretty much all I know about it, but yeah, Ang Lee is a filmmaker who I feel like can kind of do anything, because he does something like that, which I'm assuming is going to be like just a movie with a lot of dialogue and talking, and then he does like The Hulk from 2003, which is not a good movie, but he does like Life of Pi, and then he can do something like Brokeback Mountain. Like, he just seems like a filmmaker who can kind of hit a lot of genres, and I think that's really a good quality to have if you're going to be making movies. And of course, who can forget Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? That's another big one of his. I actually just watched this one last night, and I hadn't seen it before. That is Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket. This is his first film, and it stars the Wilson brothers, Luke and Owen Wilson. And I was looking at it, and I was like, what would make Luke and Owen Wilson, like, be in a movie with this new Wes Anderson filmmaker? Because he's got a very quirky style, and he's really kind of indie in a way. And I actually figured out, I looked into it, and it turns out that this is basically the first thing that Owen and Luke Wilson were ever in. So it's just a bunch of newbies making this movie, and it turned out really well. You can definitely see a lot of Wes Anderson styles in this film, and if you don't know who I'm talking about when I say Wes Anderson, that's really weird, but like, basically he's hit kind of commercial success with, I'd say, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, and The Grand Budapest Hotel. Those are the three that I actually haven't seen The Fantastic Mr. Fox, but Budapest and Moonrise Kingdom are the two that I had seen before this, and yeah, really cool filmmaker, and I really dig his films, and I'm glad that I was able to see his first one. And there's a bead of sweat on the side of my head. It is so hot in here. God, it's just crazy. Alright, next up, Paris, Texas. A lot of these movies I didn't want to know a lot about. I would just read like one sentence, so that's a lot of these movies, like, I know they're supposed to be good, I know that they're talked about, and we're losing focus. Okay, not losing focus anymore. It stars Harry Dean Stanton, and he's a character actor. He's been in a ton of stuff over the years. He's like 90 years old now, but he's still acting. He was in Alien, and I recently saw him in David Lynch's Wild at Heart. He kind of has a bigger role in that movie. I really like the guy, and I found out that he was the star of this movie, Paris, Texas, and it's basically about a guy who like disappears, and then 4 years later, I think somebody finds him just wandering around in a cornfield. And that's all I really know, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be pretty good, because already that sounds very intriguing if you ask me. This one right here, this is Guillermo del Toro's first film, Cronos. I just bought this because, you know, I like Guillermo del Toro, a lot of people do. He's not like my favorite filmmaker or anything, but like Pan's Labyrinth is really cool. I like Pacific Rim. I actually haven't seen Hellboy, but yeah, Guillermo del Toro is a cool guy. I mean, why are we losing focus so much? Okay, we're back. Yeah, Cronos, his first movie. That's pretty much all I can say. I got Stanley Kubrick's The Killing. I watched it pretty much right when I bought it, and really, really awesome movie. You know, Stanley Kubrick is another director who can do a lot of different genres, and he just makes it work. And yeah, it's basically about a group of guys who don't really know each other, kind of like Reservoir Dogs, I guess. Man, I wonder if that's where Tarantino kind of got the idea. Well, anyways, basically just a bunch of random guys get together and they're going to rob a horse race track, and it's just kind of the planning process and the execution of that job, and it was a cool movie, and I feel like the camera keeps losing focus, but that doesn't matter because we're going to keep moving on. This one, Kuro Neko, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, this is a Japanese horror fable, is what I read on the back. Basically about ghosts in the woods killing samurai in very grotesque and brutal ways, and that just sounds like a pretty cool, haunting little Japanese horror movie from what year? I know it's older, 1968, so yeah, that will be fun to watch. I'm sure I'll probably enjoy that. This one I got yesterday, Blue, White, Red, the Three Colors trilogy by Krzysztof Kieslowski. He's French, I think. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but I noticed that these movies all have like extremely high scores on Rotten Tomatoes, and Roger Ebert named it one of the best film trilogies of all time, so I was like, that's enough for me to give this a shot. This one was a bit more expensive. It was $80, but then the 50% off and the 10% off brought it down to like $35, and yeah, I'll have to watch this pretty soon because all those movies sound pretty interesting to me. This one I was really excited to buy, being John Malkovich, directed by Spike Jonze, and I really like Spike Jonze. Her was a great film. He's always funny in Jackass, which is kind of weird that he's in. He just seems like a really cool guy, and he's done a lot of music video work with a lot of musicians that I'm a fan of, so that's really cool, and this is a movie about going into the mind of John Malkovich, a very interesting and very I don't know, elaborate actor himself, so I definitely wanted to see this, and I'm excited to watch it, and I'm glad that I was able to get it. I've actually seen this movie before. It's Christopher Nolan's Following. This is his first film, and it's basically about a guy who follows people around, and I can't remember exactly, it's been a while since I've watched it, but he gets tied up in this weird business with this one guy he was following, and it involves robbing people. And yeah, really cool movie. It's like an hour long to an hour and 10 minutes or something. Really short watch, but yeah. Now this one is Guillermo del Toro's other movie that's in the Criterion collection, The Devil's Backbone. Again, I haven't seen this movie, and I'm excited to watch it because, you know, I've heard a lot of good things about del Toro's older work, and I actually just noticed before I started filming this video, but this spine, it has a very fitting spine number that I was talking about at the beginning. It's actually number 666. I don't think you can see it because this stupid, like, burned, singed plastic is there, but this is actually spine number 666, and that's fitting because it's the devil's backbone, so that's cool. I guess there was a reason they put that number on this movie, but for the other ones I really couldn't tell you. Next up we have Thief. This is Michael Mann's first film, if I'm not mistaken. Michael Mann is a filmmaker that I like. I think he's fine. I like the movies he's made. I like Heat. Collateral is pretty good. Black Hat, the one he did this year, was really, really bad, but this stars James Caan, and it's supposed to be like super 80s noir, and yeah, it just seemed like a cool movie, so I was like, I'll give that a shot and buy it. This one right here, I don't know why, but this one was only $25, so I got it for like $12, but blue is the warmest color. This came out just a couple of years ago. I wanted to see it in theaters, but it was rated NC-17, and I was like 16, so there was no way I was going to be able to see this, but French film about lesbians, that's all I can say. So that's because that's all I really know. But yeah, 3 hours long. I'll watch it someday. And yeah. Okay, this one. The reason I bought this movie, I'll just show it to you. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Was because I've heard really good things about it, and a very popular YouTuber, James Rolfe, mostly known as the Angry Video Game Nerd. That's how most people know him. This is actually his favorite movie of all time, and I was like, you know, I'll give it a shot because I've always liked his content and his opinion for the most part. So I'll give this movie a shot, and I actually opened it up yesterday, and this one was $50, and I was kind of curious as to why it was $50, but when you open it up, you can see why this one costs $50, and it's got like, okay, it's got this, like a map or something, it's got the booklet in here with a bunch of whatever on it, and then it also has 5 discs, if you can see all those. So yeah, the case for this is amazing and super cool, and I love the drawing on the side here, and yeah, I can totally see why this one was $50 and not $40 compared to all the other ones. So I'm definitely going to be watching this movie really, really soon. I actually just saw a clip from it last night, because this movie's kind of known for its car chases and car scenes, and those scenes look really, really cool, I gotta say. So yeah, it's a mad, 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 mad world. A lot of people talk it up, and I decided to give it a chance. So yeah, and the last one I'm going to show you guys here that I bought on this 50% off sale was David Cronenberg's Scanners. Really cool, grotesque looking case. Looks like it would be something that I enjoy. I really like the effects that he has used in the films that I've seen of his, and this one is also like a really nicer, thick case with a lot of cool stuff on the inside, I'm sure. Haven't opened it up yet. But yeah, that's the last one I got on the sale. And like I might have mentioned before, I do have 3 other Criterion Blu-Rays, but I will not show them to you because we're losing focus again. Are we coming back? No, we're not coming back, so I'll just finish the video in this horrible focus. Basically, the last 3, like, I don't want this video to be a Criterion collection video. I want it to be a Blu-ray update video, so you're not going to be able to see the other 3 that I have, but maybe someday once I collect more of these, I'll do a whole collection compilation video. And yeah, it was nice seeing you guys. You probably can't really see me very well now because it's so blurry, but yep. I'll see if I can do some reviews soon, and this is Luke signing off. If you want to subscribe, if you want to unsubscribe, go right ahead, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your summer, and yeah, I'll talk to you later.